What's going on, everyone? This is Corey with Xbox Tavern with another review. This time I'm actually kind of reviewing 4 games in one. That's right, the Garten of Banban series has finally made its appearance on the Xbox platform. And with it, we got Garten of Banban 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, Garten of Banban 1 is free on the Xbox Store as of right now, and I think it will remain free. It will kind of give you a taste of the game and what to expect going forward. So if any of this interests you, go check out Garten of Banban 1 and see what happens. The other 3 are paid. They are $5 for 2, $5 for 3, and $10 for 4. However, you can get all of them right now in a bundle for a couple dollars off. So what is Garten of Banban? Well, if you follow indie mascot horror on YouTube, then this is probably not a surprise, but this is an indie mascot horror game where you walk around and you quickly find out you're a parent, I think, trying to find your child. And as each game continues on this singular story, like, you keep going deeper and deeper, and if you find your child, we haven't found them yet. Spoiler alert. There are at least 3 or 4 more games of Garten of Banban that continue on to this out right now on PC. I'm sure those will come to Xbox again at some point. But yeah, I don't know when the end of this series will ever be, but they do keep churning out games. So let's talk about them a little bit. Garten of Banban 1, the free game, it took me like 22 minutes to beat. It's very, very short, and it offers very light puzzling and kind of sets the stage. There are no spoken words of dialogue that I recall, and everything that you are learning about the game kind of comes from notes you find. And that kind of holds true for the rest of the games as well. Now, starting from 2, they do have characters that speak, so you are getting some story beats that way. But for the most part, the lore behind the Garten of Banban is in a lot of notes and things that you find. Now, Garten of Banban 1 was very short, but they have exponentially grown the length of the games since then. 2 is, I think, in the 1 to maybe 2 hour range tops, but Garten of Banban 3 and 4, 2 hours would be your minimum. So they're not like super long experiences in and of themselves, but they do follow a continuous story. So I will give them that. Now, the visual style of the game is something to be talked about. It kind of looks like you're developing a game for the first time, and this is kind of what you came up with. Now, I don't want to minimize any work that's been done. I would like to think that maybe this kind of gives me hope. Maybe I can build a game, and if it looks like this and it's popular, I think what they have done, it has broken into the internet, and the internet has done what it does best, and it has kind of uplifted it to an extent, and it's carrying this franchise forward. So whether you like the style or not, that's what it is, and it's kind of working for them. The whole experience so far can kind of be summed up as a fever dream, to be honest. Not only in the fact that you have these really weird, they look like wet clay monsters that you're dealing with, but the things that they say sometimes make you question, like, what am I listening to? So I don't think this is going to draw in a lot of new people, but if you're like me, you might be curious to play it. If you ever watched a gameplay or lore video on YouTube and you kind of follow the indie mascot horror scene, you've probably seen Garten of Banban. And just for the fact that it's on Xbox and it's available to me, I had to try it for myself, since that's where I choose to play games. I couldn't have tried this previously, so I will give it that. The games in and of itself, they all consist of a lot of puzzling. Some of it's complex, some of it's not. And even the complex ones it's more frustrating to perform what they want you to do, at least in my experience, rather than being like too hard to figure out, because all of the solutions are not too bad. That said, with the lengths of the game getting longer with each iteration, I feel like they've made the spaces bigger, and definitely in the later games, I felt like I was doing a lot of walking around. So whether that padded out the time or not, I can't really say for sure. But besides the puzzles, you're going around, you're collecting things, you are dodging different things. There are chase scenes, as you might expect in a horror game, and there are jump scares, which is kind of the bread and butter of this whole indie horror scene. If you get caught, you get a jump scare. Now, the things that I don't like about the games, it's a little technical issue, but the pausing is really strange. In one of the games, if I paused, I could not unpause for whatever reason. I had to quit the game and go back into it. Other games, when you pause, it doesn't really pause the game in the background. It just brings up the menu. So it's not a true pause. I missed out on a puzzle I was doing. I was in the middle of it. I paused the game, and it was a timed-based puzzle. I didn't know that it was going to keep going, and I ended up failing it, so I had to redo it. It is what it is, but I would like for a couple of the technical issues to be ironed out. Now, the checkpoints in themselves and like getting jump scared and having to reload, that takes a lot of time. From the time you get a jump scare, you're waiting what feels like a good 5 to 10 seconds for a screen to pop up to say press A to continue. You do that and you wait another few seconds, and then you're finally back in the game. And sometimes that means that you have to go and do a little bit of walking and maybe an interaction again, and the characters talk really slow, so it could take a while if you are just not doing everything perfectly the first time. You're having to redo it. So it's not my favorite. So technically speaking and gameplay wise, I don't think these games are hits. I think if you like this genre, then you're probably going to be excited to play these, or at least experience what you may have seen videos about online. So in that sense, it's really cool that they're available. However, it's going to be hard to recommend these to anybody that doesn't usually play these types of games. They're definitely not doing anything groundbreaking, but I like that they're available. That said, if you're not on xboxtavern.com already, be sure to go there so you can check out my final score for the games. They will be scored as a group of games since that's how they dropped. Remember, Garten of Banban 1 is free seemingly on the Xbox store, so if you're curious, you can try it out. I've been Corey. I will catch you in the next review.